So, we're back talking about One Punch Man, episode 6.
I'm just gonna go ahead and hit my head against a wall for a little while. If you wanna just talk a minute.
It's that bad.
No, keep going.
I kind of liked it because I don't read the manga.
Uh, it still feels like it's on fast forward at this point, and while the last episode wasn't as bad with it, this one's pretty severe. It feels like
Because they didn't show much of the battle fight.
there's not much of the battle fights in the manga either. A lot of it just comes down to dialogue that they cut out or changed. If we're going to talk about fighting, I can tell you that there's some scenes that were cut. For instance, there's a scene where Fubuki does strike back at the Whipple girl. I forget her name. Slingshots or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like after she takes that big whip to the back and like kind of explodes a little bit, she does do a whole point where she like wraps that woman in a tornado for a bit
Mm-hmm.
until like the explosions start happening and Tatsumaki shows up.
Yay, Tatsumaki!
I don't know, man. She's the older sister. If you didn't catch that part,
Yeah? What's your point?
well, the fact that she's alive is is part of it.
Always
Um,
had a thing for shorter girls. Like, all the girls I had crushes on in the past were about my height or shorter, and I'm decently short.
I was gonna say you're pretty short to begin with.
Yeah, I'm like 5'6".
You got that
Five.
Napoleon complex going on, where you need to be taller than people.
Well, then again, there was that one friend I had who was like an inch taller than me.
I'm sorry. Now I just want to draw you in that classic Napoleon Bonaparte kind of like pose with your hand in your coat pocket in like the upper coat pocket,
Mm.
just like looking all smug, like yes, I'm taller than you. Get down. I am the tallest. And of course, I need to make sure that you're sitting on a goddamn step stool just to make the ridiculousness complete.
The almighty tallest.
Yes, my tallest.
Oh, damn, we're getting sidetracked
Fucking
already.
Zim. Fucking Zim. He'd be a better addition to this fucking tournament.
Uh,
Okay. All right. Where do we want to start with this? Because wherever you go, I'll interject where I think things were dropped or missed.
and this is how far ahead are you in reading?
I'm keeping up. I'm keeping pace with the episodes. Like I'll watch the episode and then I'll keep pace reading the chapters until I get to the point where it cuts off.
Okay, because Siryu seems to be not quite villainous, maybe more anti-hero?
I'm trying. I don't remember specifically what happens with him. From what I read, when the first season happened,
Mm-hmm.
uh, he's not villainous. I'll tell you that much. He is definitely not a villain.
Anti-hero then? Because
Probably closer to that. He has that whole survival of the fittest mentality going on.
and he doesn't seem to be full into the other heroes. He's like,
There's actually a bit of dialogue that got skipped over that I feel is important here, which is like when Snake is talking to him, or Sneck, or whatever his actual name is.
snack.
Um, when he's talking to him about, well, so what? Do we just let civilians die? There's a bit of dialogue that they kind of jumped over where it's like, no, be my guest, save them if you want. If you're enjoying it, fine, but it's still going to happen one way or another. The strong will survive.
Okay, okay.
So he's ambivalent. He's not. He doesn't care whether you're a hero or not. You can do what you want. He doesn't give a shit because his life is basically just, I got strong to cruise the easy street, man. That's just the reason I did it.
Hmm.
It's kind of like Mr. Satan to a degree, where his mentality is, so long as I'm the champ, I got all the money and I can live the easy life.
Yeah.
It's that same mentality, though granted, this one isn't specifically about winning prize money. Though he does say that if I were to become a hero, I'd be doing it for the money.
He does like money.
Hey, look, he wants the easy life. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
So long as I can live nice and easy, I don't give a shit. Which, you know, to any other person, yeah, you're gonna take that shit. You're telling me that, like, me going around and picking up dog shit every single day was literally going to give me like $1,000 per day per piece of shit I picked up? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna pick up that shit.
Yeah.
That's easy money, right? I'm gonna live my life and have a goddamn good time doing it. If that's what I'm gonna get paid for doing that kind of work, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can take whatever other time I need to do whatever the fuck I want, because then I have the money to make that happen.
So, like, the face guy, the face monster.
I
Who's,
didn't like his design because he looks way scarier in the manga. Because when I was watching him in the anime episode,
mm-hmm.
it just looked like he had a bunch of holes on his body. When in the manga, it's straight up his body is a patchwork of fucking faces.
You can even see, like, the stitch marks.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep. He's way creepier in that manga.
So, asking Genos, can I slice off your face, made me think, okay, Genos is a cyborg. How much of him is still human? Like,
I mean, I assume he has synthetic skin.
okay.
The other thing to mention with that is, and this is an interesting part that was left out, that guy knows Genos by name. Like, not just by his hero name of Demon Cyborg. He knows his name is Genos.
Oh,
And he says it.
that's right.
Yet, that's kind of just breezed over in the anime episode for some reason. Don't know why. It seems like it's a trivial bit of dialogue they could have just thrown in there without making it matter. So why it was cut, I have no clue.
So Genos is like 99% robotic?
I have no idea how much of him is robotic. I couldn't tell you. Um, I assume it's like everything but the brain at this point, but I could very well be wrong.
I thought they may have said in the first season, but I completely forget.
It's been a while, so I don't remember either. I didn't reread the first season's worth of the manga, so I can't tell you that either.
Okay.
I jumped in at right around season 2 starting point, maybe a tiny bit before that.
And that cockroach guy. What?
There's a scene in there that they skipped over too, in that fight.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. So, you know how he's dancing around freaking Genos for a while?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he's behind him, and that's when Genos captures him with the freaking, like,
glue.
The glue stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happens differently in the anime. He basically jumps up to the top of the building near Genos, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to leave you for one of the other monsters, because I've beaten you up pretty badly so far, so there's no real point in me continuing this. And he goes to take off, and that's when he pulls a fake out to get behind Genos.
Okay.
Whereas that whole section, for whatever reason, is missing. And it kind of gives some more character to what that cockroach is like. Because he's a guy that pulls fake outs.
There seems to be a lot of bug-based monsters.
There's jokes about that actually made it into the episode, so you know. I mean, it was worded differently, but that might just be translation differences too.
Okay.
I generally take like the idea of if there's a way something is translated differently, like the same gist is there, I just assume that's a difference in translations. Just because translating it to like a romanized language like ours is very difficult to certain degrees, and some people take liberties and some people don't. So, you know, it's up in the air, honestly, when it comes to that stuff. Now, when it's wildly different, then there's something to talk about, because it's like, where are you pulling this shit from?
Yeah.
Oh, man. But, you know, we get Cockroach Man, who apparently just leaves his legs behind to try and escape from being burned alive.
I'm guessing he might be back.
I don't recall, so I can't tell you. It may be that he shows up at a later point from when I read, or it could be that he just does not show up at all. Who knows? He might be the big bad of season 3, whenever that shows up.
That would be silly if he is.
It'd be hilarious, because he'd be like, you, Cyborg, you let me live, and look how much more powerful I am now. I got my Zenkai boost from this. Little did you know I was part Saiyan. He goes Super Cockroach 3.
Oh, look at those giant cockroach. Smash. serious fly swatter technique.
Oh God, that didn't work on the mosquito. But like, a lot of the animation just seems like it seems just bland and normal. It doesn't seem like it's One Punch Man season 1 animation style.
Tatsumaki did appear manga-esque at one point.
Yeah, we got the comic book style with her, but that's also in the manga,
Oh.
and the way it's supposed to be. However, like fighting wise, we usually get those hyper dynamic stuff, like kind of like shots. Like even in the one episode where, hell, the one I used as a basis for our fucking like screenshots here of our fucking, what is it, title cards,
Mm-hmm.
right? That shit is more detailed than most of the freaking action shots we get in these episodes so far. Like 99%.
Well, damn, that's a big shout
And
out to
that's
you.
and that's not even a freaking like, no, that's not even me. That's not, look, all right. That's saying the showrunners from the first season did a way better job. And that was in a fucking one-off fight where he does a single punch where he's freaking out that he's gonna miss his goddamn grocery store sale. All right. That one scene there has more detail in it than about 90% of anything in this season 2 so far. Actually, you know what? Rephrase that. 95 to 99%, somewhere in that vicinity. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some interesting ones in here. However, they're being used very poorly.
Yes.
And they're not in the action scenes. They're in like still shots of character faces, like freaking Sour Face over here when Bakuzo or whatever his name is got taken out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why isn't that in the fights? Like the serious fights. Like I get Saitama's ridiculous one punch kind of take him out for no reason. Why in the serious fights is there not that kind of thing?
And Saitama kept using the bathroom.
Well, I mean, the man must have taken some laxatives. That's all I gotta say. All right, wearing that wig just gets to you, you know? And actually, speaking of Bakuzo, that guy got whitewashed so hard. That's probably a poor terminology for it, but like, he got made super bland in this. Like, none of his all of his dialogue seems kind of monotone to a degree, and most of it is just like, it's monotone and it's kind of like aloof and uncaring, right?
Okay.
Whereas in the manga, this guy is an utter piece of shit. Like, he looks down on everyone. Here, I've got one of the pages up, so give me a second. Let me just read off how this is. All right? So this is the point where he's like looking at Saitama and he's like, shit, this guy's got his defenses wide open, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's how those panels play out, right? The dialogue is, don't tell me you're actually nothing but a complete amateur with practically no fighting, with no experience fighting in the arena. Are you so nervous that your body has stiffened up and you're unable to move? Have you not even acquired the technique of a simple fighting stance? Right? And then it skips to like a shot of Sourpuss, blah, blah, blah. And then it picks up again. At any rate, the fact that you, someone of such low caliber, have dared to stand in my path, I can only interpret that as an insult.
Ooh.
In that case, just as you wish, I'll give you the full course. Right?
He does the, I'll break your knees, I will break...
Well, here's the thing, because he doesn't even give the dialogue in the anime that at least that I can remember, and I just watched it like an hour ago. He doesn't give you the dialogue where he goes, but first, how about I teach you about the disaster that will befall your scrawny body?
Because in the anime, he does say, like, I will use this technique and break your knee.
Yeah, but it doesn't explain why he's, like, showing him what's going to happen beforehand. You don't have that dialogue bringing you into that point.
Okay.
He just jumps to it.
Okay.
Plus, you don't get all of this bullshit, pissed off, angry attitude that he has either. He's really bland about it. And I get that this guy's, like, essentially going to be a one-off character that doesn't matter. But, like, this puts character into a person that's only going to be there for a little bit. And it makes you understand exactly the kind of person he is.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Like, even here, when he finishes telling him, he taps, Saitama on the head with the karate chop, right?
Don't touch my head.
Well, no, right before that, he finishes by telling him, and with that, you will say farewell to the living realm forever. And it's like in this creepy ass text.
Oh.
Like most of it is, except for like when he's being instructional for a change. Like anytime he's irritated, he has that kind of thing.
Oh.
And hell, had he had that, because he has this like real creepy grin of like, I'm gonna fucking kill your ass. And then immediately gets punched off into nowhere. They didn't even have that like close up of his face being a complete and utter piece of shit that's full of himself, jumping to him getting his ass kicked. Like that comedy is completely gone in the anime.
Mm.
And it's kind of disappointing because like I didn't laugh when he got his ass hit up into the air because they missed the joke.
Yeah.
Like if anyone laughed, it's because Saitama just did what he always does and just, one punches somebody.
I mean, I could tell that guy was talking down to Saitama. So
But it
I
wasn't anywhere near the level of the manga,
exactly.
which means that you're not getting just how much of a piece of shit he is.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more cathartic when Saitama just takes him out. You don't get that with this because they don't do it. Hell, even in that close up of his face, they've got those dark shadows of like sinister, setup. Oh wow, he has a monobrow. I didn't even notice that.
So at this point, you're
It's not awful, but they're blowing by things that I feel like should be included.
yeah, I'm not saying that you hate it, but you're
I
like
don't. I'm disappointed.
yeah. I don't want to say highly disappointed, but
No, no, just so far bare bones.
like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
6 right now, I'd say. Like the overall 6 for like the
Mm-hmm.
entirety of the series so far. It's at a 6. Like yes, they're. Oh, here's another one I forgot about. So remember when they have like that guy on the news, right? The kids watching the news,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about heroes, and they're like, "Oh, what do you think, Mister?" Fuck, I forget what they called him in the anime, but in here it's literally called like doesn't know shit, essentially.
Oh.
Like that's the main translation of a pun of his name is like a pun of the of a word that sounds like doesn't know shit.
Oh.
So when we get to that point, he literally has things to say. Whereas in the anime, it's just like, oh, he's got nothing to say. Moving on.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he says stuff. Like I understand why they cut it because it's completely pointless, but then why even show the guy? Why not just cut to the other dude getting the papers given to him?
Good point.
That seems like you could have used those seconds in there for something more interesting and more important, like framing a character in the light that they need to have to be a character and not just be a walking talking billboard that gets punched.
Well, hopefully next episode you'll like a little bit more.
We'll see where it goes. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff. There's also Tatsumaki who kind of gets sidelined too.
Oh, Tatsumaki.
Like it's literally a single line, but it's enough to tell you that like she's not just offing people for no reason, right?
Yes.
Like when Futaba's like goons attack her, while they're being mind controlled essentially, and she throws them into the wall. Like in the anime, she just goes, "Oh, I wouldn't call that an attack." In the manga, it's more like, "I wasn't trying to kill them. They're not exactly our allies right now, so this kind of just incapacitates them for the time being, right?" And then she goes, "Besides, I wouldn't call that an attack." Like there's more explanation given versus just the like cut to this being an asshole kind of like statement.
Don't call Tornado Chan an asshole.
Hey, look, the anime's making her into one. I'm not saying anything about it.
But it seems that they're building up with the not quite cliffhanger of all the major locations being attacked by monsters.
We also get the reveal that there is, in fact, a monster association with. I forget if they actually call him this, but he's called the Monster King in the manga.
I don't think they refer to him as the Monster King.
Yeah, they just call him by like his name, like Emperor whatever or something like that,
They
right?
we It may be revealed he's the Monster King next time.
I doubt it. If they weren't going to reveal it right there when he's first shown, like it is in the manga, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Mm.
Why they wouldn't at all, really. I mean, maybe they will, but I don't see why they cut it out.
So come back next week for another review, I guess.
I mean, I could just go on a rant all day again, probably. You know what? Here's the homework you need to do. All right, go back and watch that
Meet with the listener.
both. All right.
Okay.
Yes, I want you to go and watch the Genos versus Saitama fight again, and tell me if there's anything so far that stacks up anywhere near that level of animation.
Okay.
Honestly, the way this is going, that monster that's coming toward the tournament, that's going to be our best shot at getting any kind of cool ass animation with that. Is when he shows up, or and I forget if this happens before or after that situation gets resolved. If Siryu and Saitama fight, because I don't remember if that actually happens, because I think I cut out at some point around this area, if I recall correctly.
And I did take a small spoiler ahead, and there are 6 more episodes left in the season.
12 episodes, cool. It's about
Yep,
what
just
last
like
time.
last season.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh, I just hope that the original studio comes back for season 3 because they did such a damn good job.
Yes, yes.
Oh god, and this studio in the first 6 episodes has not proven that they can do a good job.
Was there any reason for the switch?
Timing.
Hmm.
The previous studio was working on, I think, Gintama. I think was the series. Um,
Heard of that.
I think it's that one. I could very well be completely wrong, but I know they were working on a different anime and they just couldn't schedule it. And what I'm going to assume happened is that the people that were producing One Punch Man were like, "Look, we don't want to wait until you're available to put out season 2 because we're afraid interest in the series will be gone by the time that happens." Which is a legitimate concern, but for a series like this, I don't think that would be a problem. For others, it could be. It might very well be. For a series like One Punch Man, which has like insane animation on that first season, I don't think waiting a little extra time is going to cause anyone problems. But that's just me.
So,
Honestly, I'm happy to wait for a product that lives up to the potential it already displayed.
so join us next week for more ranting.
We'll see. Can they stop skipping pieces that seem important? That gives characters, character. That gives
We'll,
them personality.
we'll find out next week. See ya.
Oh boy, I gotta wait another week.